Thanks for that live report. We've been telling you about those tax rebate checks that will be going out to Massachusetts taxpayers based on a rarely used state law that kicks in when there's a certain amount of state revenue surplus. But a new report claims the state is about more than $1 billion in error.
Western Mass News reporter Glenn Kittle joins us live in studio with more. Glenn?
Chris, Mary, the Baker administration announced more than $2.9 billion will be returned to Bay State taxpayers. Amounts were based on how much they paid in state taxes in 2021. But the Massachusetts Budget and Policy Center says half of it will be wrongfully returned. Today, I reached out for answers on why this is and what this could mean for taxpayers. Almost $1.4 billion in state revenues could be incorrectly returned to Massachusetts taxpayers. That's according to a report from the Massachusetts Budget and Policy Center. Senior policy analyst Kurt Wise tells Western Mass News there's an error in accounting based on the rarely used state law that was triggered due to the amount of extra revenue took in last year.
The $2.9 billion that the auditor certified is about $1.4 billion too high, effectively. That in that $2.9 billion, there's $1.4 billion that's already going to be going back to taxpayers in the coming fiscal year. And that fact that money is already promised to taxpayers and will be taken out of the collection totals of future revenue collections by the Commonwealth is not accounted for.
Wise tells us why this is bad for the state as a whole.
Reduces the amount of revenue available to the Commonwealth to invest in all the many things that we do together, paid for with our taxes. Talking about roads and schools and libraries and support for local communities, healthcare, all kinds of things. That money is not going to be there because it's inaccurately being refunded.
Massachusetts Budget and Policy Center also claims the law unfairly distributes money to higher income earners. Certified public accountant Nicholas LaPierre tells Western Mass News how the law could be leaving those making less with an inequitable refund.
Well, the argument's being said that somebody making $20,000 a year is going to get a lot less returned to them from their credit, as opposed to a high earner that could be making $200,000, $300,000, or $1 million a year. They're going to get a much larger refund, regardless of what the percentage is that the government comes out with.
Now, at last, the tax rebates could start going out as soon as next month. Live in the studio, Glenn Kittle, Western Mass News.